everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mia and I run Sticky Kitten Crafts. I am really excited to do this video today because I've been working on something really fun for Sticky Kitten, and it's been a labor of love, let me tell you that, and it is not anywhere near over yet, so we'll see how this ends up going. But if you watched my video about my goals for 2025, one of the things that I talked about was how I'm really bad at posting consistently. You see that over here on YouTube. I'm just not very consistent. I'm also not very consistent on my TikToks and Instagram. So what I wanted to do was kind of create a challenge and have it be something that my audience would be invested in and want to kind of like contribute to, while also forcing me to actually be putting out the content, because I'm committing to doing this thing that I'm doing. So if you follow me over on Instagram or TikTok, you probably already know what I'm talking about. But for the month of March, what I decided to do was create a March Crochet Madness bracket. And I, every day, am rolling out 2 new plushies that are kind of going head to head, and I'm having my Instagram and TikTok followers vote on which one they like best. And then at the very end of the month, we will have a final champion. So this is very much like regular March Madness, although I am starting my bracket with only 32 contenders versus 64. I was thinking about doing the full 64, but it was just going to be way too much to prep 64 different items. So what I've been doing is kind of prepping everything each day as I'm posting. On the weekends, I get a little bit caught up and maybe create a couple of videos, but for the most part, I'm kind of doing things daily, which is really difficult, and I would not recommend doing this, but it's just kind of how things have been going because I had some technical issues early on. So we are here, we are getting through it. But yeah, so what I decided to do was pick 32 different patterns that I really liked. I switched a few out kind of as I've been going along, just because again, it's taking me a while to make these videos every day. But I also added in a couple of requests that people had, so that's kind of where we made a couple of changes, but nothing too crazy, especially because a lot of that was happening on day 1 or 2, where we hadn't gotten into some of the parts of the bracket even yet. So I'll show you some of the things that I've already made, and then I'll walk you through kind of my bracket that I've been putting together and talk to you about the different areas of the bracket. Okay, so similar to the regular March Madness, we have 4 different divisions, if you will. So usually for a March Madness bracket, you have the north, south, east, west kind of thing going on. We have that, but I made my own little names for them because why not? So I will kind of walk you through each of the days, and I'll show you the bracket. So the first little section of the bracket, these are my little cutie wooties. So these are just cute little items that people will see at my market and be like, oh my gosh, that's so cute. So for day 1, because we are Sticky Kitten Crafts over here, I decided to make cat related items. So I made this Loaf Cat. This is Annie Caraway Designs. I will put all of these patterns and their links in the Google Doc down in the description box. That Google Doc has links to pretty much every pattern I use, and I try to include the prices of the patterns in there as well, just so you have some idea of how much the pattern costs. So it might not be completely accurate because obviously people change their prices sometimes. I try to check it every once in a while, but just to give you that kind of heads up that is what I think it is. So anyways, this is Annie Caraway Designs. I think it is. I know it's Annie Caraway something. So this is the Loaf Cat. And then this is the little mini chubby cat. I think this is from B. And again, the link will be down below. I loved this one. This one was so fun to make. I made it in Sweet Snuggles Light. I'm pretty sure this little cat lost though on the first day, so that made me sad. But yeah, this is just like an alternate to the Loaf Cat. They took about the same amount of time too, so I thought they were pretty good to compare. Since the Loaf Cat goes crazy at markets, I thought it would be fun just to try and introduce a new cat that you could have, especially if you want to be a little bit different and unique. I did hear from someone on my TikTok that when I bring up one of my other contenders, they were like, oh, I have so many of those and they like never sell anymore. So I posted a video over there today about kind of how some of those cult classic makes are difficult to sell because everyone is selling them. Like a leggy frog, for instance, if you are a crochet artist and sell at markets, like chances of you having a leggy frog that you sell are pretty high because it's just a popular pattern. It's fun to make and they're usually actually pretty popular. But I do think sometimes with those makes, like people, if there's multiple crocheters at an event, it can sometimes lead to some confusion of like, why do you guys sell the same thing when you're both crocheters? Like, shouldn't it be something unique? So I tried to include, again, just a couple of alternate items that are kind of similar that you could maybe create. So with that being said, so those were our little cutie wooties. Next, day 2, I did these fun little guys. Here you are. So I did the kind of cult classic Maybelle chicken as well as Hatcher the Hatching Chick. This is by Oak and Marlowe. This is by Louis and Berg. Loved making these two. Obviously, the Maybelle chicken is just a classic. A lot of people have it at their markets. And I've seen a lot of people have this one as well, but maybe not quite as popular. This was a pattern I've never tried before, so it was a good chance for me to try out a couple patterns that I haven't done yet. And this one was definitely really fun to make. And I think will probably sell pretty well, especially this spring around Easter time. So that was these two. I'm pretty sure Hatcher won in this division. These two are actually in the division, the corporate girly pops. So these two are hard at work making a lot of eggs right now because of the egg shortage. So I just imagine them being little corporate girly pops in the little corporate egg America and, you know, making more eggs, trying to build a better future for us. So that's these two. And again, I will pop up at the end. I'll go through kind of like the different divisions. Let's see, last night I actually did the second corporate girly pops because we're kind of starting to circle back through the different market area, the different we're starting to circle back through the different divisions. So these are Corporate Girly Pops number 2. These are called the Ice Teams. I don't remember the name. This is actually by a dynamic duo of crocheters, which is really fun. There were 2 people that worked together to create these patterns. So this one is a frog and duck or chicken kind of thing. And then this one is an octopus and whale. The octopus and whale was a little bit more difficult to make just because it had the long tentacles and the little whip topping, but definitely still a pretty easy market make. I think each of them maybe took me about an hour or so. Not bad for sure. So these ones super cute. Other corporate girly pops, I like to think of these two as corporate girly pops because they're a dynamic duo. They're working together. Like in the corporate world, you have to have that best friend that you go to and really work closely with just to make it through. So that's these two. They are just living and thriving in their little corporate worlds. Corporate of what? I don't know, but that's what they're doing. So okay, next we have a really silly little division. These ones are kind of inspired by that Instagram sound, I'm just a baby. That's these ones. They're little babies. This one is I called Francisco for my pull. He has these little dancing pants on. Every time he wears his pants, he is ready to dance. So that is him. You can actually kind of take his one arm out of the other one and put him around a purse strap or something like that. He's kind of called a bag buddy. This was a this was a frog and toad inspired pattern. I'll include, again, the link down below. I can't remember what the name of the creator is for this one, but the pattern will be down below. And this is the Standard Leggy Frog by Not Jaded Co. So again, this one is one you see by every crocheter out there who is doing market makes, it seems. So I kind of wanted to see how this one did against a very similar yet different kind of idea. This one still has the long arms and legs and it's kind of silly. You know, he also has his little pants. And this one did actually beat out the Leggy Frog. So I'm sorry to little Frank here. That was the name I gave him. He did lose in the bracket already to Mr. Francisco, but we'll see if Francisco can keep his little dancing alive for much longer. He'll continue to dance, if you will, for March Madness. Perfect. I didn't even think of that. But okay, last thing I have is the division called the Snuggly Wugglies. So these are snuggly little creatures. For my markets, a lot of times I bring quite a lot of snugglers. They actually do pretty well for me. I think people really like them and they're usually not priced super high. They don't have polyfill in the body, so it makes them a little bit cheaper compared to maybe a similar size filled item. So this is Char the Lizard, and this is Pika the Electric Mouse. These are both by Willow Dot and Wild on Instagram. These are actually free patterns. So if you're new to crochet or just like want to try out a fun pattern, these ones are great. I sold a Char the Lizard at one of my markets previously. Again, I've never made this pattern, but the Pico is definitely a fun one to do. Again, just super easy. So these ones are great. Definitely a fun little makes. If you go onto Willow Dot and Wild's Instagram, she has other kind of Pokemon inspired patterns as well. I think there's a like Mewtwo kind of snuggler. There's for sure a Snorlax, a Squirtle, and I can't remember if there's any others, but I've made the Snorlax and the Squirtle as well. So definitely good little patterns to make, and they're free. So what more do you want? So all right, so now up on the screen, I'm going to put a couple of the brackets. So first I will do the Cutie Wooties and the Snuggly Wugglies. So that's what these two brackets are shaping up to look like. And then the next ones are the Corporate Girly Pops and the Just a Baby. So that's what these two brackets are shaping up to look like. So every day over on my Instagram and TikTok, I'm posting the results, letting people know who won, and again, allowing for people to vote every day in both places if you follow me on both, on my story and in the poll. On Instagram, the poll is kind of hard to see on the post because you have to click on like the description and then click poll. It's really small and not a lot of people are voting in the description box. And then on TikTok, you can vote at the very end of the video. There's like a on-screen poll in the video, and then also a poll up in my story on TikTok. So I will say that just like as a content creator, the way that Instagram does it versus TikTok makes it super confusing. So I usually have to cut 2 different versions of my video to tell people how to vote. Just really annoying and something that they should work on. I think, honestly, I like the TikTok one where it's just on the video screen. I wish Instagram would do the same, but theirs is down in the description box. So that's all we're at. That's what I've been up to. After I get down to the Elite 8, I will basically have just like one page for the voting, and I'll probably narrow it down as well before we get to that, but that's kind of how that's gonna go. Yeah, but I'm excited to keep working through this series. It's been really fun. I really just hope that it kind of brings some joy to everyone's day, deciding on which cute little creature they want to vote on that day. And I'm also hoping that it can give some of my fellow crafters, crocheters, some inspiration for market makes, or give you some fun insights as well, just from like, what does the crowd like? Like, would they rather have a little chick or would they rather have a Maybell chicken, you know? It might give you some good ideas about how to fine tune your assortment, if you will, as we're going into the spring and summer market season. So I hope you guys found this video fun and helpful, and I hope you follow me over on my Instagram and TikTok and just kind of participate in this March Crochet Madness, because I think it's going to be really fun, and I'm really excited to kind of see who our final winner is. Another thing that this is also helping me with, that I was just kind of thinking about earlier, was how many items I'm making is going to be great market prep. So if you wanted to do something similar, definitely try it out, because it's a great way to just keep yourself consistent with making market items. So with that being said, again guys, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one.